When powerful, unknown forces threaten to destroy life as we know it, who can we turn to save us from the end of the world? The Avengers? Nah. The Guardians of the Galaxy? Not even close. Introducing the Eternals, Earth's very first superheroes. What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Odie Meeks, here with another review. This time, I'm reviewing Marvel's Eternals, Marvel's big superhero epic. This film is probably one of Marvel's most tonally serious and somber movies, with a scale the likes of which we haven't really seen before, with a story that spans thousands of years, and no less than 10 different characters. 10 different new heroes. What the? Okay. If Black Widow was Marvel playing it safe, then Eternals is Marvel trying something completely different, with concepts dealing with prophecy and inevitability and what it means to be human. This movie tries to do a lot. The question is, does it succeed?
Next time on Dragon Ball Z.
So, Eternals is about a group of beings called the Eternals.
Well, no shit.
Who are godlike beings, each with their own unique abilities. They were tasked to protect Earth and all the creatures on it, and help mankind develop over the years without interfering directly. They can steer humans in the right direction, but they can't directly get involved with any major decisions or conflicts, which sort of explains why they didn't help with the whole Thanos thing, but not really. Especially after the twist is revealed, it's like, yeah, they could have helped. Throughout the ages, the Eternals have not interfered until a new threat emerges, which forces the Eternals to step out of the shadows and become the heroes they were meant to be. Let's start with the good. I really like the premise of this movie, and I like the characters and their abilities. I don't know what it is. There's just something about this group of characters that is both awesome yet familiar. I just can't put my finger on. Anyways, yeah, if you were getting Justice League vibes, you're not alone, buddy. Icarus is literally Superman. You got Flash, Wonder Woman, Martian Manhunter is split up into a couple of different heroes technically, so one person has that power and that part. But you get the gist. Like, this is the Justice League. This is Marvel's Justice League right here. That should sum up this movie pretty easily. I don't know where I heard this take from, but I like it. They said, basically, that Eternals is what happens when Marvel tries to make a DC movie, which I totally agree with. The tone and style of this movie really reminded me of Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman. In a good way. Remember, I actually like the DCEU, specifically Zack Snyder's take on it. So to see a grittier, more serious, soap opera-y Marvel movie was an interesting experience. Again, I love the powers of the different characters. The cool powers made for some solid action. I love the scale of the movie. Even if it becomes too big and epic for its own good, it's still an experience nonetheless. Like, the Celestials are really cool. Is this laying the groundwork for Galactus? What? I think this movie had so many concepts and ideas and just so much ground to cover that it should have been 2 films. And if it were to be split up into 2 films, a lot of the issues would have been resolved. But because it wasn't, well, let's talk about the bad stuff. I don't think the choice in tone and style sometimes just doesn't work. I don't know. It's the best way to put it. It just doesn't sort of work. This movie is too epic for its own good, okay? I didn't think that was possible, but yeah, it's possible. There are too many grand ideas being introduced, too many characters being introduced, too much ground that needs to be covered in a single film. Even one that is 2.5 hours long. This is a long movie. It's just not enough. This movie tries to do too much that by the end you feel overwhelmed and confused as to how this movie fits into the rest of the universe. And how we move forward from here. Because this movie has some huge implications moving forward. This movie changes everything we know about the MCU, or we thought we knew. People cannot just skip this movie and then understand what's going to happen later on. So what does the Eternals mean for the future? I know this is a problem with almost every Marvel movie, but this one especially. What was the point? Not in that I felt like my time was wasted or anything, like this was a bad film and therefore like I wasted my time. What was the point of that? But like, what does this mean moving forward? Like in 5 years, this will all be super clear and it'll totally make sense in the grand scheme of things. But I'm just left feeling like, as cool and epic and grand as this movie was, I feel like they're leaving out the best stuff for the different film, and they keep doing that. Marvel, like, give us something satisfying. Like, the Eternals are important because they play a big part in what? Those are the questions that I'm left with. I don't really know. I also felt like the villain was very generic and underwhelming. Like, this is not brand new to the MCU films, but Jesus, what? Huh? I'm not talking about like the twist, I'm talking about like the main villain. Ugh. While the action was cool and the powers are cool, that can only get you so far when the things that you're using those powers on are incredibly uninteresting and just ugly to look at. Jesus. Like, the deviants in this movie have to be some of the most forgettable villains in a Marvel movie in a while. Yes, including Black Widow's Taskmaster and whatever this guy's name is. They suck, but not as bad as the deviants. Look, here's the deal. I was really hyped for this movie. Besides Spider-Man, of course, this was one of my most anticipated superhero movies of 2021. And because of that, my expectations were through the roof. Ultimately, that's my bad. Because I put such a crazy amount of pressure on this movie to deliver something that it was never going to deliver, I feel let down. Whereas my girlfriend, when she saw the movie, she actually thought it was fine. Like, she wasn't as bummed out as I was. Like, I really was let down because I had such high expectations for this movie. It was a serviceable Marvel movie, but I was expecting it to be one of the best. I wish it got more room to grow. They don't plan on making any sequels, so we won't see these characters again until they pop up into other things, and that's sort of my point. This movie, I was let down by it, but it'll be fine. Eternals is an epic movie in every sense of the word, and unfortunately, it's too epic. This movie should have either dialed back the scope just to something that's a little more manageable, or splitting up the films into 2 parts. Instead, we have a film that, while tonally different than anything we've seen before in the MCU, tries to bite off way too much that it could chew. And being epic and having cool powers can only get you so far. That's why I'm giving Marvel's Eternals a 3 out of 5. What did you guys think of Eternals? Am I being too harsh on it? If it seems like I am, it's only because I really had high expectations going into this movie, man. Like, really high. So admittedly, that's my fault. That's my bad. Were you looking forward to this movie? Did you like it or hate it? Who's your favorite Eternal? Let me know down below. Don't forget to support your boy by liking, sharing, and subscribing if you haven't already. I have a bunch of other reviews on my channel, so check them all out. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.